Guys, what's up? It's your boy Crypto Marco yet again with another awesome video on the topic of cryptocurrencies. The currency where your family bank employee from around the corner told you not to invest in because he was so scared. And in today's video we're going to talk about Ethereum. As you can see, if you don't know, since the middle of May, Ethereum was pretty much hyped, then went down all of a sudden, and then it soared up again. And now, since a few days, we're having a little bull market going on right here, from $300 up to $330 almost. And what many people don't know, as you can see, I'm in Coin Checkup right now, which is a little bit more thorough than CoinMarketCap. Has a little bit more information. When I'm here in the investment stats, you can see that the total ROI for Bitcoin is 5,240. What happens when we double that number? I can tell you, it becomes 10,480, or Ethereum return on investment. So Ethereum doubled their return of investment than Bitcoin, which is like a pretty rare sight. But I will explain to you why and what Ethereum is, what you can do with it, and how it works, because many people think that Ethereum is only a cryptocurrency, which is not true. It is a token currency, however you want to call it, that has a function behind it. So Ethereum has been invented by Vitalik Buterin, I think is his name, and he's like this 24-year-old Russian genius who's like the nerdiest looking guy you can imagine, but very smart. And I think that for looking so nerdy, he actually talks really well and is like his rhetorical skills are, in my opinion, not bad. But one of the reasons why Ethereum is getting hyped right now is, of course, the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. So what is that? The Enterprise Ethereum Alliance connects Fortune 500 enterprises, startups, academics, and technology vendors with Ethereum subject matter experts. And as you can see, these are only a few of all the members in this alliance. But if we look up this little sheet, the members, you can see that there are some very, very serious companies behind it. HP, Cisco, Intel, MasterCard, Microsoft, Santander, UBS. So very, very serious companies coming into Ethereum, and they don't just bring their own money, but they bring their own staff, their people, and with them comes also a lot of hype around the currency. So it's worth a little bit more. So as you can see, I wrote a little on a little blog of mine. I wrote like what's important about Ethereum, because there's really so much to cover that I can't digest it all. I also need to drink a little sip of my protein powder so I can keep up. So what other interesting functions does Ethereum have? So one of the main advantages that Ethereum has over Bitcoin is that it's so much faster than Bitcoin, where you have to wait like 5 to 15 minutes, depends on how much you do and what you do. With Bitcoin, Ethereum takes like maybe 15 seconds and then your transaction is done. And it's also a lot cheaper. Ethereum can also be used for decentralized apps, so-called dApps. And what that means is that those apps aren't like centrally governed and the information comes from one central place, but it's more spread out. So everybody who's using the app is kind of contributing to the whole system. And one unique thing that gets often mentioned with Ethereum is smart contracts, which is maybe a fancy word. You can just call them contracts. But basically what Bitcoin wants to do to the financial system, Ethereum is to the programming world. So Ethereum, to be quite honest, it's that like vast and I don't know, applicable to so many things that even for me, like I have spent so much time looking up Ethereum and the cryptocurrency that even I can't grasp what it can do. So it's much more than a token or a currency. It's a system that can be applied to almost everything that you can do in a computer. And that's why it's so interesting for all these companies, and that's why they're chipping in So smart contracts are little if then that function. So if you like example that is being used often is a vending machine. So if you put $1 into a vending machine, you get a bottle of water. If you don't put in anything, nothing happens. And that's like kind of a very simple way to explain smart contracts. Like if certain things happen, then some certain things will get triggered. Now, this is also where my programming skill ends, because usual and normal programs can do too. What Ethereum does in this case, it allows for a cheaper and quicker transaction between not just the machine and maybe a computer, but also between multiple computers and multiple networks, because it's decentralized. Also, you can use it for crowdfunding platforms and stuff like that. So as you maybe know, there was around the 17th of June 2016, somewhere here, you almost can't see it because, oh my, yeah, you can see that the price was almost at $20, and then a DAO hack happened where a hacker destroyed almost $65 million worth of cryptocurrency, Ethereum. And as you can see, after that, Ethereum radically dropped and stayed there for a while until it was put on the hype train, as you can see right now. And this is one of the fears many people have for Ethereum, that something like this could come up again. Of course, Bitcoin is not known for having like somebody hack it. I think it's not impossible, but one of the things that is being brought up when talking about Ethereum is that it might have some security issues, and that's one thing people are afraid of. After that, the classic Ethereum was made. I might as well show it to you. So Ethereum was split into two different currencies, the normal Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. All right, what you saw here is like the Ethereum project, and this here is the Ethereum Classic. So they were split into two different tokens or currencies to save Ethereum. Yes, and that was just my explanation on what Ethereum is, what you can do with it. And the question that stays is, should you invest in Ethereum? Well, to be honest, you should ask yourself, what do you want to invest in? So if you're somebody who's just speculating, you could, like, of course, like it might look like Ethereum will go up in the near future, and I think that Ethereum will long term be quite successful. But the interesting thing with Ethereum, it's more than just a cryptocurrency, like for example Bitcoin. Ethereum is a working system that can be applied to almost anything that has to do with computers. So as I mentioned before, it's no coincidence that such big powerhouses, like you can see right here, are getting into Ethereum and looking up the possibilities what they can do with Ethereum and how they can profit from it. So these companies, they don't just bring their own money, but they bring their talent pool with them, and they're gonna look up the possibilities how Ethereum can help them make more money. So at the end of the day, for them, it's only to make more money, but they wouldn't do it if they wouldn't think that Ethereum is the shit. So in my opinion, Ethereum is one of the most interesting cryptocurrencies or tokens to keep an eye on for 2018. I definitely will buy some in the future and see how that works out. Maybe one day, the $300, almost $400 you see right here, will be somewhere down there, and we're gonna go up all the way. So some people even claim that Ethereum might get bigger than Bitcoin, simply because of it's seemingly more flexible and faster, but only the future can tell. I'm not a fortune teller and I'm not a financial advisor, so whatever I just said, these were only my subjective 2 cents. Do your own research, see what is interesting for you, what fits you. If you are interested in buying cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, check the video that I'm annotating right now. If you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, leave it a thumbs down, I guess. If you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. And as a friendly gesture for everybody who's supporting my still very young channel, I'm giving away a small sum of money in the form of Bitcoin for everybody who's liking, commenting, and subscribing. So if you want the chance to win a little bit of cryptocurrency, just put a nice comment under the video, leave your address, and you have the chance of winning cryptocurrency once a week. Thanks.